Chapter 1. The Perfect Arrangement. The apartment was exactly as advertised in the grainy photo. Worn hardwood floors, tall windows with chipping paint, and the comforting smell of old books and strong coffee. To Liam, it was paradise. Affordable, close to campus, and his new roommate, Sam, was a grad student who seemed to spend more time with his architectural models than with people. Liam adjusted his collar, a habitual check. The scent neutralizer was a cool, odorless layer on his skin. His posture was beta perfect, relaxed, unremarkable. He extended a hand. "I'm Liam. Thanks for picking me." Sam looked up from his blueprint-strewn desk. He was taller in person, with a quiet, observing gaze that made Liam's pulse stutter before he clamped down on it. "Steady. Betas are steady. Sam, the room's through there." He gestured with a pencil. "Rules are simple. Clean up. Respect the quiet. You seem low-key." "That's good. That's me," Liam said, the lie smooth. "Just a beta, trying to get through finals." Sam's amber eyes held his for a beat too long. A faint, clean scent of sandalwood and rain, alpha, but restrained, drifted across the room. "Right. Welcome home." For the first week, it was flawless. Liam was a ghost, neat, quiet, perpetually smelling of laundry soap and nothing else. He perfected the beta nod, the beta shrug, the beta's mild interest in the weather. The first crack was tiny. It was during a shared, silent evening. Liam, engrossed in a complex chemical equation, unconsciously worried his lower lip, a nervous omega habit he thought he'd buried years ago. From across the room, Sam's voice cut through the silence. "You do that when you're concentrating." Liam froze, releasing his lip. "Do what?" "That." Sam pointed with his pencil, a ghost of a smile on his face. "It's meticulous. Betas, I know, usually just glare at the page." He's observant. Liam's internal alarm blared. He forced a shrug. "Just a habit." Sam just hummed, returning to his work. But later, when Liam went to bed, he found a new, unopened package of his favorite brand of herbal tea, the one he'd mentioned offhandedly days ago, placed neatly on his pillow. Chapter 2. Acts of Quiet Care. The care was subtle, almost beta-like in its practicality, which made Liam doubt his own paranoia. Was Sam just a really good roommate? When Liam came home, soaked from a surprise downpour, Sam had a fluffy towel and a sweatshirt waiting on the radiator. "You'll catch a chill," he'd said, not looking up from his stove where he was stirring soup. The sweatshirt swam on Liam, smelling overwhelmingly of sandalwood. It was strangely comforting. Then came the night of the broken lock. Liam returned late from the library to find Sam already home, his brow furrowed as he fiddled with the apartment's deadbolt. "Strip the mechanism," Sam grumbled. "Can't fix it until tomorrow. It won't lock properly." A bolt of pure, omega instinct, vulnerability, danger shot through Liam. His scent neutralizer sputtered under the sudden spike of anxiety, releasing a quick, sharp note of frost-touched lemon. Sam went very still. He didn't turn around, but his shoulders tensed. "It's a safe neighborhood," he said, his voice deliberately calm. "But I'll sleep on the couch tonight, between the door and the hallway. Just, since we can't lock it." The misunderstanding blossomed instantly in Liam's mind. He thinks I'm a scared beta. A weak, nervous beta who's afraid of a faulty lock. Shame burned his cheeks. He was supposed to be unflappable. "That's not necessary," Liam said, his voice tight. "I insist," Sam said, finally turning. His expression was unreadable, but his scent had shifted, softened into something protective and warm. Roommate protocol. Liam fled to his room, confused. Sam's chivalry felt alpha, but his reason, dutiful roommate, felt beta. Who was this man? And why did his quiet protectiveness make Liam's carefully constructed walls feel so flimsy? Chapter 3. The Uninvited Guest. The equilibrium shattered when Ben arrived. Ben was an alpha from Sam's program, loud, brash, and draped in a cloying cedar scent. "Sammy, and you must be the new roomie," Ben boomed, clapping a heavy hand on Liam's shoulder. His gaze swept over Liam with an assessing sharpness that made his skin crawl. "A beta, huh?" Sam said. "Nice. Keeps things simple." Liam offered a tight smile, retreating into beta blandness. But Ben was relentless, dominating the space, his alpha presence pressing against Liam's control. During dinner, Ben leaned over, his cedar scent overpowering, and sniffed audibly near Liam's neck. "You use some crazy strong neutralizer, man. Can't smell a thing on you. Not even a hint of beta musk. Weird." Liam froze, his spoon clattering against his bowl. Sam, who had been quiet and watchful all evening, set his glass down with a sharp thud. "Ben." Sam's voice was low, a quiet rumble that nonetheless silenced the room. "Don't." "What?" "Just making conversation. You're being intrusive and rude." Sam's sandalwood scent, usually so subdued, unfurled into the room, not aggressive, but firm and dense, cutting through Ben's cedar like a shield. "Apologize." The air crackled with unspoken alpha tension. Liam felt like a specimen under a microscope, his deception one sniff away from exposure. Ben backed down with a raised hand. "Geez, okay. Sorry, Rumi." Sam's always been weirdly protective of his betas. After Ben left, the silence was heavy. Liam busied himself washing dishes, his hands trembling. "He's an idiot," Sam said from the doorway. "You don't have to explain or justify anything about yourself to anyone. Ever." The words were a balm and a torment. Sam was defending him, but which him? The beta Liam pretended to be, or the person Sam somehow saw underneath? The misunderstanding deepened. Sam thought he was defending a beta's right to privacy. He had no idea he was guarding an Omega's secret. "Thanks," Liam whispered, not turning around. He felt Sam's gaze on his back, a tangible, warm weight, before he heard him walk away. Chapter 4. The Scent of Warm Bread. Liam's coping mechanism was baking. The precise measurements, the chemical reactions, the nurturing act of creating something. It was deeply, inherently Omega, and he allowed himself this one indulgence, telling himself it was a common beta hobby. One Saturday, he lost himself in making cinnamon rolls. The apartment filled with a warm, comforting sense of yeast, sugar, and spice. He was elbow-deep in flour, humming softly, when he felt a presence. Sam stood in the kitchen entrance, leaning against the doorframe, watching him with an expression Liam couldn't decipher. It was soft, almost fond. "That smells incredible," Sam said, his voice husky. Liam startled, a cloud of flour puffing into the air. "Oh, it's just stress baking. Beta finals thing, you know." Sam's lips quirked. "Right. The famous beta stress baking tradition." He took a step closer. "Can I help?" The request threw Liam. Alphas in his experience didn't help in the kitchen. They expected to be served. But Sam just washed his hands and waited for instructions, his large, capable hands surprisingly gentle as he kneaded the dough next to Liam. They worked in comfortable silence, shoulders brushing. Liam's control slipped in the warmth of the kitchen, in the simple joy of sharing the task. His true scent, always hiding beneath the neutralizer, began to seep out. Not the distressed honey lemon, but a contented, warm bread-in sunshine version of it, mingling with the cinnamon and Sam's sandalwood. Sam stilled. He didn't say anything, but he took a slow, deep breath, his eyes closing for a fraction of a second. When he opened them, they were darker, warmer. "Liam," he said, so quietly it was almost a whisper. Panic surged. "He knows. He has to know." Liam fumbled for an excuse. The vanilla extract in this brand is really strong, isn't it? Almost floral." Sam blinked, the intense moment dissolving. He looked at the bottle of cheap vanilla on the counter, then back at Liam's carefully blank face. A flicker of something, disappointment, crossed his features before it was smoothed away. "Yeah," Sam said, his voice returning to its normal timbre. He took a deliberate step back, breaking the intimate bubble. "Must be. They're going to taste great." The misunderstanding was a chasm now. Liam thought he'd dodged a bullet with a flimsy lie. Sam, who had caught a beautiful, tantalizing glimpse of the truth, thought Liam was deliberately rebuffing him, hiding behind his beta persona, because he wasn't interested. The quiet care in his eyes dimmed, replaced by a polite, roommate-appropriate distance. Chapter 5. The Polite Distance. The apartment became a museum of polite coexistence. Sam was never unkind, but the easy camaraderie from the kitchen was gone. He stopped leaving little gifts. He stopped lingering in shared spaces. His scent was locked down tight. It was what Liam had wanted initially, invisibility. So why did it feel like a punishment? Why did his heart ache when Sam would give him a brief, impersonal nod before retreating to his room? Liam's control began to fray at the edges from the stress of it. His suppressants gave him headaches. His scent neutralizer felt like a suffocating mask. He missed the warmth. The breaking point was a group study session. A classmate, an unbonded alpha named Leo, was being overly friendly, his peppermint scent aggressive as he leaned into Liam's space, helping him with a problem. Liam's omega instinct screamed, recoiling internally, but his beta facade held, a stiff smile plastered on his face. Sam, who had been passing through the living room with a stack of books, stopped. He didn't growl or posture. He simply walked over, inserted himself calmly between Liam and Leo, and placed a hand on the back of Liam's chair. His sandalwood scent rolled out a calm, immovable wall. "Leo," Sam said, his tone conversational, but leaving no room for argument. "We're trying to keep this area a quiet study zone. Thanks for understanding." The message was unmistakable. Leo left looking miffed. The other betas in the group exchanged knowing glances. Sam's being possessive of his roommate. How weird. Humiliation, hot and sharp, washed over Liam. Sam was doing it again, protecting the helpless beta. He couldn't stand it. As soon as everyone was gone, Liam whirled on Sam, his beta pretense cracking with anger. "Why do you do that?" Sam looked taken aback. "Do what?" "That. The hovering. The alpha posturing. I can handle myself. I'm not some fragile thing that needs you to scare off every alpha who talks to me." The words were a projection of his own fear, a misreading of Sam's intent as condescension. Sam's expression hardened, a flash of pain in his eyes. "Is that what you think I'm doing? Posturing? What else would you call it?" Liam shot back, the honey lemon scent of his distress leaking into the air, sharp and tart. Sam inhaled sharply, his jaw tightening. He looked at Liam, really looked at him, seeing the anger, the fear, and the heartbreakingly sweet scent of an omega in turmoil that he was still stubbornly pretending wasn't there. "You have no idea," Sam said, his voice low and strained. He turned and walked to his room, closing the door with a soft, definitive click. The silence he left behind was deafening. Liam stood alone in the middle of the living room, the scent of their argument, hurt sandalwood and distressed honey, hanging in the air, and realized with a sinking heart that he might have just ruined the best thing that had ever happened to him. Chapter 6. The Blackout. The fight left a glacier between them. They communicated through notes on the fridge and scheduled bathroom times. Liam's world, already precarious, turned grayer. He missed Sam's quiet presence desperately. Fate, it seemed, had a dramatic sense of timing. The citywide blackout plunged the apartment into utter, silent darkness. The sudden absence of the electronic hum was jarring, but worse was the instantaneous, high-pitched whine from Liam's bedside table, followed by silence. His scent suppression system had a backup battery, but it was old. The power surge from the outage fried it completely. Panic, pure and primal, seized him. Without the system, his daily suppressants and neutralizers wouldn't be enough. His true scent would saturate the small apartment within minutes. He scrambled in the dark, fumbling for his emergency spray, but knocked it into the wastebasket. It was too late. The first wave hit him, a hot, cold flush. And then his scent, unrestrained for the first time in years, bloomed into the still, dark air. Honey, warm and golden, layered with bright lemon blossom, and underneath, the unmistakable, vulnerable signature of an unbound omega. It was a scent of sunshine and warmth, now tinged with the acrid bite of sheer terror. He heard Sam's door open. A match scraped and candlelight flickered, illuminating Sam's face from below. He stood across the room, a blanket in his hands, his expression not of shock, but of profound, weary relief. "Liam," he breathed, and the way he said the name, like a prayer, like an answer question, shattered Liam completely. "I'm sorry," Liam sobbed, the tears coming freely now, his pretense incinerated by fear and shame. "I'm so sorry, Sam. I'm not a beta. I lied. I'll leave. First thing. You'll never have to see me again." He waited for the anger, the betrayal, the expulsion. Sam took a slow step forward, then another, placing the candle on the coffee table. He approached as one would a startled creature, his own scent, sandalwood and rain, flowing out, not in challenge, but in a steady, calming tide. He stopped an arm's length away. "I know," he said softly. "The world stopped." "What?" "I've known. For a long time." Sam's voice was gentle, raw with emotion. The lip biting. The way you curated a scent of absolute nothingness. The way you bake like you're pouring your soul into it. The way your eyes get so wide and scared when an alpha is too much, even though your voice stays so steady. He took a final step, close enough that Liam could feel his warmth. "I listed the room for a beta because I didn't want an Omega who felt obligated. I wanted someone who'd choose to be here. And you chose here, but you felt you had to hide to do it." The misunderstanding that had plagued them for weeks dissolved in the candlelight. He wasn't protecting a beta. He wasn't posturing. He had been courting an Omega he saw right through, waiting for him to feel safe. "If you kept bringing me tea," Liam whispered, dazed. "I wanted to take care of you, in the ways you'd allow. You backed off, because I thought you'd guessed I knew, and your silence meant you weren't interested in an alpha, that you just wanted a roommate." Sam's hand lifted, hovering near Liam's tear-stained cheek. "Can I?" Liam, his whole body trembling, nodded. Sam's thumb was calloused and infinitely gentle as it brushed away a tear. His scent wrapped around Liam, a shelter in the dark. "I'm so sorry I made you feel so alone in my home. That was the last thing I ever wanted." The truth was a physical warmth spreading from Liam's chest. He wasn't exposed. He was seen. For the first time in his adult life, he didn't have to hide. A sob of relief escaped him, and he leaned forward, letting his forehead rest against Sam's solid shoulder. Sam's arms came around him immediately, holding him close, his chin resting on Liam's head. "You're not angry?" Liam mumbled into his shirt. Sam's chest vibrated with a soft, incredulous laugh. "Liam, I've been fighting the urge to build you a blanket fort for 2 months. I'm not angry. I'm home." Outside, the city remained dark and quiet. But inside the brownstone apartment, lit by a single candle, 2 scents finally entwined freely. Honey and lemon blossom, safe and welcomed, wrapped in the steadfast embrace of sandalwood and rain. Chapter 7. Dawn and Daffodils. The power returned with a hum and a blaze of light just before dawn. They were still on the couch, Liam curled into Sam's side, Sam's arm a firm, comforting weight around him. The sudden brightness made them both blink, but Sam didn't let go. The reality of the new day and the obliteration of his secret settled over Liam. He tensed slightly. "So what now?" Sam tilted his head to look down at him. "Now we establish new rules. Rule 1, no more hiding." He said it softly, but with a finality that brooked no argument. "Your scent, your habits, your incredible baking. No more locking it away in this apartment." Liam's heart squeezed. "People will know. At school. Let them." Sam's thumb stroked his arm. "You're an Omega. A brilliant, stubborn, captivating one. That's nothing to hide. And I'll be right there. Not as a guard, but as, well, I'd like to be your boyfriend, if you'll have me. But even if you need time, I'm your friend. Your roommate. Your ally." The word boyfriend sent a cascade of warmth through Liam. He nodded, a shy smile touching his lips. I'd like that. The boyfriend part." Sam's smile was like the sunrise, slow and beautiful. He leaned in, pausing a breath away, his eyes asking a final permission. Liam closed the gap. The kiss was gentle, a sealing of promises. It tasted of salt from dried tears and the lingering sweetness of honey. Sam's scent enveloped him completely, no longer a separate entity, but a part of his own atmosphere. The following days were a delicate, joyful reorchestration of their lives. Liam went to class without his industrial-strength neutralizer, wearing only a light, personal scent moderator that softened rather than erased. The first time his honey lemon blossom scent wafted through the student lounge, a few heads turned in recognition. But Sam, who had taken to meeting him after his last class, would simply fall in a step beside him, his presence a quiet, steady statement. The stares would often turn to understanding, then away. At home, the changes were profound. Liam baked cinnamon rolls again, and this time, when his contented omega scent filled the air, Sam came up behind him, wrapped his arms around his waist, and buried his nose in the crook of his neck with a deep, happy sigh that vibrated through them both. "That," Sam murmured, "is the best smell in the world." One afternoon, Liam came home to find a small pot of daffodils on the kitchen windowsill. The card tucked into the soil read, "For my sunshine, S." It was cheesy. It was perfect. Liam pressed the card to his chest, his scent blooming sweeter than the flowers. Chapter 8. The Welcome Home. The final test came unexpectedly. Ben, the brash alpha from Sam's program, stopped by to pick up a textbook. He walked in and froze, his nose wrinkling as he was met with the now permanent, harmonious blend of omega and alpha scents that filled the apartment. "Whoa," Ben said, his eyes landing on Liam, who was curled in Sam's favorite armchair reading, wearing one of Sam's sweaters. The connection was unmistakable. "Okay, now it makes sense." Liam stiffened, old fears resurfacing. But before he could even sit up straight, Sam was there. He didn't position himself aggressively. He simply walked over and perched on the arm of Liam's chair, his hand coming to rest casually on Liam's shoulder. "What makes sense, Ben?" Sam asked, his voice light, but with an underlying edge. Ben held up his hands in surrender, a genuine, slightly embarrassed smile on his face. "The overprotectiveness. The weird vibe. Dude, you weren't just being a good roommate. You were courting." He nodded at Liam, his demeanor shifting to something more respectful. "Sorry about the sniffing comment before, man. Totally out of line." Liam, emboldened by Sam's touch and the new reality of his life, offered a small, genuine smile. "It's okay. Apology accepted." After Ben left, Sam slid off the arm of the chair and onto his knees in front of Liam, taking his hands. "You okay?" Liam looked down at their joined hands, then at Sam's concerned face, and felt a surge of certainty so powerful it stole his breath. "I'm better than okay." He leaned forward, his honey lemon scent wrapping around them both. "I'm home." That night, there was no pretense, no distance. They shared the couch, Liam tucked securely under Sam's arm, a movie playing unnoticed on the screen. "You know," Liam said softly, tracing the seam on Sam's shirt, "I think my favorite scent is sandalwood and rain, especially when it's mixed with warm bread." Sam's arm tightened around him. He pressed a kiss to Liam's temple, his voice a soft rumble against his skin. "And mine is honey and lemon blossom, especially when it's finally, completely at peace." There were no more secrets between them, no more misunderstandings. Just the quiet understanding of two people who had found their way through layers of disguise and doubt to the simple, profound truth beneath. They were each other's safe place, each other's welcome, each other's home. And in their little brownstone apartment, filled with the intertwined sense of their happiness, that was more than enough. It was everything.